Hola Madridistas, welcome back to another episode of Las Video podcast. I'm honored, extremely honored to be, accompanied by my respected, well recognized, held in high regard co-hosts Jacob and Farouk. I'm gonna
Man,
wish the boys.
where was the respect in the preview, man? Come on.
In the preview, I had to bring my bazookas, man. I got to back my prediction, right? Back my incredible foresight, but. Yeah, I'm gonna wish the boys a very happy New Year again. Hopefully we all celebrate big things this year, and also people tuning in live. Also the people who will be catching us on later on the audio platforms. Was it the right tone to start off New Year, boys? Simple yes or no, Farouk and Jacob.
Yeah, it was
No,
pretty
I think
wholesome.
it's. Yeah, I mean, eventually, you want to win the game. So, as we said, you don't know what's going to happen after you come back after a long vacation. So I think it's yeah,
Mm,
it's the win is the win. The performance, on the other hand, that's something we'll talk more in detail. But for
mm.
now, we will take the win.
Jacob, I was referring to the performance of the team, yeah, not
Oh,
the way how I kind of introed the EP.
yeah.
Jacob completely lost it, but yeah,
The performance of the
but
team
yeah,
was
man.
nice, man. Like
Mm,
I don't think like we could have
mm,
done much extra in this game. Like
mm,
those guys,
mm.
Mallorca always defend well. They made it difficult for us. The ref made it difficult for us, but finally in the end, we always have a savior saving us in the second half.
mm. Mallorca actually coming into this game, we discussed it in detail in the preview that they have a pretty decent record, right? Like unbeaten in 5 games or something. And the commentary was saying, if they don't score in this game, this will be the first time they haven't scored in like 5 or 4 away games back to back since the 1990s or something. So yeah, Mallorca really had a proper go for it, right? Like they didn't. Usually teams are super negative when they come to the Bernabeu, or at least after the first 15-20 minutes, they are just basically having to sit deep and look to counter. But it was a bit like I'll start out with the skeptic bit first, right? The moment Mayoko realized that this team can be got at, they just decided, we are gonna give it our best. We're just not gonna hang around and wait for the chances to come to our feet. We're gonna take some initiative and give this Real Madrid side a proper test, and that's what happened. That's how the second half started. Like they really um, saw what good they could make of even the most mundane of chances. Like you could see that Mallorca were really giving problems for our backline, especially with Chouameni and Rudiger in the mix. Rudiger we're going to touch in detail, but Chouameni at centre back. I'm going to ask you, Jacob, first. First impressions.
Yeah, and so this game, I wouldn't say they really came out and tried to have a go at us. It's just that they knew the trick. We were missing like such a big figure in the back line. Xiaomini wasn't
Mm.
really like marking the players on crosses. So that's the only plan they had. Just try to put some crosses and try to cause havoc on the box.
But in transition, did you see how many times our players were met? Dani Carvajal, like for instance, towards I think 70th minute or something.
Oh
So
yeah,
many players were caught out in transition, in really dangerous positions. I mean,
definitely. I mean,
that's the
if you just
best
look
they
at the
can give.
formation we played,
Mm.
like when we were attacking, it was just Rudiger at the back. Even Xiaomini was playing really wide. And basically Carvajal was a striker. Valverde was also drifting wide. So I feel like these transition chances were inevitable. It's just that we were so confident that Rudiger could get the best ahead and beat the Mallorca striker with pace. So and I feel like the plan worked for the most part. In transition, I wasn't really scared by Mallorca, but it was just a cross, man. Every cross that went in spelled danger for us.
Always been the case over the past 3-4 years. Ever since maybe Ramos kind of departed, it has been the case. But to my question again, Chouameni in isolation as a centre back, this game really doesn't give you a clear picture. Yeah.
Definitely, like you could see some of his shortcomings, but he tried his best. You can't really fault him. He hasn't really played there
You
at
could
all.
see in my opinion, you could see how nervy he was, right? Like some of the clearances, maybe if he takes an extra touch and tries to play it out of the back, that would be the best option for him to do. But probably out of nerves, he's just booting it out of play.
And even trying to clear the crosses, he did scuff a few of them, and then luckily he got
100%.
punished. Yeah.
So against a bigger opposition, like he has to really, I mean, see, playing pro clubs and playing five-a-side is a completely different proposition, right? Like I was never a defender, but like even playing a game or even playing with our mates, playing as a centre back, playing as one of the defenders, not the wing back. Obviously, wing back can be a bit more flexible, but playing at centre back has been some of my worst nightmares. It's not easy. It's not for everyone. Like even someone who is defensively astute is gonna come up short. Especially, you gotta keep so much composure, to actually navigate a full 90, and at the top level, against Mallorca. Let's be honest, Mallorca has been on the up. They have been not one of the worst sides in La Liga. They have climbed out of the relegations and whatnot, but still, it's Mallorca. It's not a big test, right? We are at home, but yet Chouameni had to have a few clangers, here and there. But Farouk, man, Chouameni, quick thoughts, centre back. Is it the right way to go about the the most pivotal part of the season?
I mean, Nacho is back for the next game, so like hopefully, just hope that Nacho keeps his fitness. And as you mentioned, like just this one game is not enough to draw, a solid conclusion there. But obviously, in isolation, like 1v1 against the best attackers in Europe, like I would really be worried about that. But again, really good to be shown that he can try to marshal, because there were a lot of situations where he had to bail out Chouameni, as Jacob was pointing out, with his pace and all that. So we can just hope that Nacho keeps his discipline, records in check, and
that's a big if. Not gonna lie, big if.
And also, Rudiger can continue, with this blistering form that he's shown, throughout the season so far. I think if we can continue with that, like I will be comfortable with that. But the issue will now be if Rudiger also goes into a moment of madness and you have to play Nacho and Chouameni together, then I would say that's when you have to get worried.
Yeah, let's hope the lucky stars are with us, man, because we need all the luck, and especially with the injury situation and players tending to just pick up suspensions for fun. We just need to counter lucky stars, every game. But I just checked the chat. Mo was mentioning Girona is 1-up already. So imagine if we lost this game or drew this game. The potential scenario of kicking off 2024 on the back foot would have been pretty damn shocking, to say the least. Because the way we kind of kept going about our business, towards the end of 2023 was pretty remarkable. And for me personally, I get where Farouk's gripe comes with Carlo. Again, like Jacob was mentioning, there was not much we could do, but we just were super slow, right? Super ponderous, but maybe it's just rust. I know it's just a matter of 10 days, that we actually were on a break, but the players just looked like they lacked a couple of gears in them. They just really had to warm up to the tempo of the game to really get up to speed. The only guy who was up to speed, like we were mentioning before the game, was Luka Modric. Man, Farouk, I'll come to you again. How good is he? And does this instill confidence in you that he has enough in his tank for another year?
Yeah, I mean, definitely. I mean, another year, it's a long story, but at least for this season, it gives me confidence that, like when you call on Luka Modric, obviously, like, it's something that should be expected, but, eventually, whether you like it or not, age catches up with you. But, Luka Modric today, in my opinion, as I said to you guys even before we came on air, I don't know if it's just, nostalgia or something, but I kind of feel like he was really good, in what was otherwise, a really chaotic and shitty game. And honestly, like, I feel like, this is a player that, even if he's going to come off the bench, if he's going to start, I feel like it's someone that really is instrumental. We might actually be the difference, between us, winning key games and losing key games. I think he's going to be like, it's going to be the inverse card of what, Camavinga and Rodrigo were in the UCL run, rather than now, Camavinga coming on with his youth and energy. It's going to be, Luka Modric coming on with his experience and technique.
That's a brilliant point, to be honest. like many of us, like towards the beginning of the season, like we were wondering, like, what is Luka Modric's role? How impactful can he be? And Mo was very keen on pointing it out early on that like Luka Modric is someone who thrives on tempo, right? Who thrives on momentum, who just um, likes to keep himself busy. And the more he is kind of left to warm the bench, he look a lot more rustier when he comes on. But yeah, recent injuries to Chouameni and kind of has helped him earn a lot of minutes, and slowly and surely has climbed up the pecking order a bit, and now is like properly giving Cruz, Fede, even Jude is undroppable, but he's basically giving the midfield a new headache, and a proper good headache at that. And I'm pretty sure Carlos going to relish it, and like it's huge that we can count on him for yet another pivotal second half of the season, man. Jacob, anything to add? Luka Modric.
Yeah, I was really surprised by Luka Modric. Like I know, like in isolation, like he probably made our best chances today. But beyond
Mhm.
that, what surprised me was his energy, man. Like in the second half, especially when everyone was basically looking gassed. Here, I remember
Mhm.
in one transition, Valverde was bringing it up in the right flank, and then Luka Modric was the one who was running in from the wing. Uh,
Mm.
that play didn't actually work out. Like the defender got to him, but then and
Yeah.
then the Pablo Mafio
Even
one.
tracking back,
Yeah,
busting the lung along with Fran to stop. Who
Pablo
stop? Was
Mafio.
it Mafio?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And Luka Modric almost got there, and that really surprised me. I thought like Carvajal would basically struggle again in that duel, but then Luka Modric actually kind of kept up with Maffeo and put enough pressure to prevent a really dangerous cross. So yeah, really love his energy, and that bodes well for the rest of the season.
So he created a lot of chances. One for Vinny outside of the boot. That Vinny, he could have cut it back for Rodrigo. Even the cross for Jude. Modric was very busy, man, and I like when he's this action packed. All out energy and constantly a thorn in the opposition. That's what Modric is about. With regards to Cruz, in complete contrast, this is how Modric impacts games. The more passive Modric is, the more he goes missing. But when he's involved, and when the team actually looks to him, relies on him, he is just on another level. And I don't think many midfielders in recent times, or even in football history, can come up to how constantly involved and how constantly on the front foot Modric can be. But yeah, man, I hope there are better things to come from him. Honestly, yeah. Who else? Who else? Tony Cruz. Nothing much to say, to be honest. Jude Bellingham, Farouk. Um, this was one of those games where probably he wasn't at his best. Right? There were a lot of runs from deep. Probably that Mallorca was well guarded against it, and he was triple teamed, double teamed more often than not. He he tried his best to create some chances out of nothing with his neat feet, quick feet, winning a couple of good free kicks and whatnot. But in general, a little underwhelming from Jude tonight.
Yeah, man. I mean, I think underwhelming is a very harsh word. I think I
Mm.
felt like Jude was there, like he wasn't necessarily too much of a positive, and he wasn't a negative either. And like it's a team that today I felt like he wasn't given the situation to perform best, in the fact that those runs that he was able to make today wasn't possible given the presence of the defenders, or what is like with 10 defenders, 11 defenders, and also like with the return of Vinicius and Rodrigo also playing both in that situation. Normally when you played with because I felt like the departure of Vinicius actually gave a more prominent role to Jude in the game. So I kind of feel like that sequence again also changes what he plays or what he doesn't play. But as you said, like it's there to see. You can see he's trying. He's trying to make those runs, put in those tackles, and as you mentioned, he's quick and meets feet as well. It's there to see. Like that's why I would say like it's not necessarily, in my opinion, it wasn't a really bad game from him. It's just that one of those games that like he wasn't able to impose himself as much as he wanted to, but then it was there to see.
There you go. That's the key point. He didn't really get to impose himself much. But Jacob, He had to play so many different roles throughout the 90, but Jude Bellingham, not one of his best nights.
Yeah, I mean, I would say it's a case of two halves for Bellingham. In the first half, I actually disagree with you because I don't think he actually made any sort of good runs in the first half. Valverde was
Yeah, he
actually,
was missing completely.
yeah, Valverde was actually the one who was actually making some decent runs, trying to create some chances. But he did not really get along well with the synergy of Rodrigo and Vini. Those guys were just 1-2, 1-2 passing, wall passing, and then just trying to create chance on their own. And Bellingham wasn't around at that point. But then in the second half, once Vinny, kind of tired down, and then once Vinny got taken off, like that's when Jude started making those runs, and he was really bright in transition as well. It's just that it just didn't happen for him. We just didn't create too many quality chances for us to get him into scoring positions.
Mm. Since we are on the topic, Fede Valverde again, superb. How relentless he was, going forward and even covering for Danny and Luca and Tony. Fede Valverde just, I guess he improves game by game because some of his extremely tight knit dribbling this game, it kind of surprised me. Not gonna lie, he was a live wire tonight throughout the entire 90.
Definitely, like you generally think that Valverde he can't do very well when the team just sits back. He just thrives in transition. But today he just proved that he has that quality to him as well, making those late runs and making some nice touches in really tight spaces as well.
Farouk, anything to add? Fede Valverde, brilliant season so far.
Yeah, man, honestly, brilliant season so far. Today also like he played, a different kind of roles as well. As you mentioned, obviously like with the could change in personal throughout the whole 90. Like there were times where even Luka Modric was the deepest player. There were times where Jude was also quite deep as well, and Fede was basically sometimes even the fourth sign or the fourth sign if you want to say this. But one thing about it is like it's been a very very phenomenal season from him so far. Like obviously, like Jude has been phenomenal. In that midfield diamond or what is not. But I think Fede Valverde is really really not far off, and he's just back to that form that we saw early last season before he faded at towards the end of last season. I do believe like towards just do him justice. Honestly, it was another phenomenal and very energetic performance from him.
So, in which season did
100%.
Carlo actually say that I will actually retire if Valverde does not score 10 goals? Was it this season or
That was last year. Last
okay.
season. Now his roles are completely reversed, right? Like he really has to do the mopping job. But yeah, man,
Until like Kamavinga and Tchouaméni are back in midfield, then I guess he will have more of a responsibility attacking.
attacking, yeah. But let's be honest. Like even though he has been asked to sit back, he has when the chance arises, he has been more than obliged to bomb forward and combine well and find the outer space that wasn't there before. I mean, honestly, Fede has been really, 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 really good. I didn't expect this sort of a laid back, reserved role in which he would excel in. Right, like where like I always thought that Fede would thrive in transition and be the guy who would basically beat man for pace, tired opposition backlines down. But this newfound role that he has been embracing has is really gonna shoot his stock up. Not gonna lie, this really adds a different layer of the skill set to his overall game. But yeah, Tony Cruz, nothing special to talk about. Kept it neat and tidy. Kept things ticking. There was maybe one or two instances where his fancy back heel didn't come off, and was it Fede who was like what was that, Tony? You shouldn't do me like that, right? Especially on the first game of 2024. But yeah, there was a neat little free kick that was just a few inches wide. But apart from that, nothing spectacular. I'll come to you, Farouk. Vinicius return to the team. I'm not gonna lie. The first 10-15 minutes, it looked like there was absolutely no sync between whatever was happening and Vinny, right? But then he slowly grew into the game. But um, yeah, I expect a lot more from him, man. Like I'm like we have discussed this. Like he's basically playing out of position. He's asked to be the inside forward, where his entire strength is based upon hugging the touchline and basically beating man for pace. But yeah, how do you rate his 60 minutes against Mallorca tonight?
Yeah, man, I feel like it's just to be expected. He's just coming back from injury, so I feel like that's there's not it's gonna be unfair to read too much into it. Honestly,
Mm-hmm.
I kind of feel like he's making those touches, making those attempts, and trying to get into the groove and stuff like that. So it's gonna take a couple of games to eventually get back to that form that he was starting to gather before he got injured again. So I think it's going to take a bit of time. But one thing I will say is that at least it seems like him and Rodrigo are trying to make this partnership work. That's the thing. Okay, like it didn't bring a lot of fruition, but you can see like they're finding each other. They're trying to understand where each other is and trying to avoid or occupying the same spaces. So I would say like at least that's something that we can take away from it, even though it wasn't successful yet, in my based on what we saw today in the limited 60 minutes. But I also just give him the benefit of the doubt for the return of the injury. So hopefully towards the end of the month, hopefully we will be able to see Vini in full form and fitness.
Quickly, Jacob, Vinicius.
Yeah, man, I was really pleasantly surprised because last time when he came back from injury, he looked much, much worse. This time, he actually looked sharp. He didn't take too many bad decisions. Like, there were 2, 3 players. He just didn't go and randomly try to take them on and beat them for pace. He was actually pretty neat. He combined well with Rodrigo. I think
He even had a very wholesome embrace with Pablo Mafia as well. That was funny. That was funny as fuck. I didn't expect that. That was completely out of the blue. Caught me off guard. I was like, what am I watching? But yeah, go on.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty much it. Really strong shot as well. That could have easily gone in if the goalkeeper wasn't paying attention.
He megged the guy as well, right?
Yeah.
En route.
It was a beautiful neck too. It wasn't your typical nutmeg. He actually
Yeah.
did some kind of elastico in between and necked the player. So it was beautiful to watch. So yeah, I'm really happy with Vinny. I don't think he's as rusty as last time when he came back from injury. So I expect him to hit the ground running faster.
I'll stick with you, Rodrigo.
Rodrigo, I don't know, man. I don't think he was set up to be successful today. He did have some nice moments with Vinny. He didn't really combine too much with Jude, which is what he was doing very well just before this Christmas break. And when Brahim came on, he just faded away from the match. I don't know why. But yeah, I would say maybe a 7 out of 10. Some good touches, but then it didn't really come off, and just the center was way too crowded for him to do anything productive on his own.
That chance where he was running at the defense and he laid it off to Vinny. Probably if he had a shot, maybe he could have had something from it. But yeah, pretty average outing, right? Nothing spectacular from Rodrigo. Yeah. Also, when Brahim came on, the formation kind of shifted to a 4-3-3, right? So probably that might have impacted how much impact he had. But Rodrigo has been pretty spectacular, man. Like the last couple of months, I guess you could have an off day. But yeah, we'll get to the comments in a bit. We really want to catch the Girona Athletic game, so that's why we are kind of in a fast track mode for tonight. And I also checked the score. Athletic equalized, so
really, oh wow,
that bodes well for us. That's a cracker going on.
It's gonna be an interesting game, man. I actually
Very
want
interesting.
it to end in a draw, man. I want it to end in a draw, so there is no victory in that game.
Yeah, 100%. It's gonna serve us the best odds if they actually manage to cancel each other out. But Rodrigo pretty inconsequent in a lot of ways. He tried to combine with Vinny.
What did you guys think about Fran Garcia? I feel like he did 0 in attack. He was actually negative in attack. Like he had some wild crosses to nobody. He was caught out in defense multiple times.
Whenever I'm honest about Fran Garcia, like the by my co-hosts, right? The panel basically seems to make it out like it's a personal attack when I think that he's bang average, and that's what he showed. There was nothing to his game. At least like the only thing I hope from Fran is one of his deliveries really leads to something materializing, but even the delivery was way off tonight, and just goes to show without the attacking prowess how much Mendy is kind of synced with what we are trying to do. Regardless of if we are playing a 4-3-3 or a diamond, Mendy just steps in, does about his business, and nobody even notices that he's so shit at attacking. Apart from the odd game here and there where we, really struggle to create clear-cut chances, which are very less, by the way. We are Real Madrid. We are not your run of the mill side. But yeah, Fran Garcia, this is what is expected, man. Honestly, Jacob. Farouk, do you have anything to add regarding Fran Garcia?
No, man, you're totally right. Like that's the thing. Like at least whatever happens, Bendy gives you that. Let's see, what should I say? At least that base, that defensive stability and what is not. As you just mentioned, like Fran Garcia is average, and I think there is not too much, to argue about that statement that you made, Sunil. Because the point is, I think even the club did not buy Fran Garcia to come and become the starting, fullback at the club. I think it was just someone that's going to put pressure on, whoever was starting kind of that team, and like that's just the thing, like what the issue we've always had is that the issue with Mendy is that now and again, where is he? He's not available, And I always go back to this, like, availability, the best ability. Like, the point is, if I have a car, then I cannot use them. What's the point of having that car? It's just a waste of space, in my garage. So this is just the issue that we always have with, at least that I always have with Mendy, He comes back, he plays himself to form, and then he goes back again. So that's the thing, like, you just have to find a way to, move towards this. Because the point is, if Fran is starting in high-profile games, everyone knows who's going to be targeted in our defense. Easy,
it'll be curtains even before the whistle blows. It'll be game over.
Exactly. So that's just
and like we have to just pray and hope that Mendy is fit for the latter stages of the Champions League. Otherwise,
stages, it's obviously going to be Camavinga starting at left back, hands down.
I'm telling you, if Mendy is fit, Mendy should start. Simple as not Camavinga.
That's a good thing, man, my friend. You said if.
I have a certain belief that he's going to be fit. He'll be magically fit. Farouk, watch the space.
Bro, actually, I need to go and take some of this water that's made drinks in Canada.
No. With Mendy, I have this certain assurance. It's just, I don't know. This is my gut feeling. Even last year, when we needed him the most, Mendy was kind of out injured, but you could see that, like, if the worst comes to worst, gone.
I mean, with last season, I feel like Mendy, he was basically like forced into fitness in those important games, but in those
that's what I was getting into.
But he wasn't really sharp. I don't think he was at 100%. He was just shooting, and then in between those games, when in those useless La Liga games, it was someone else starting. It was probably Nacho.
But you go back a couple of years. You go back to Zidane's tenure.
Couple of years is a long time. I don't think that's the Mendy.
I know it's a long time in football, but yeah, you could argue that. But I just have this feeling that he might step up. I'm just hoping. Well, I'm hoping for the best for my team, right? If Fran Garcia is supposed to be the guy who's gonna carry the bet and down our left, it's gonna be peak, man. But yeah. Who else? Lonan. People were, I mean, Jacob was mentioning in the chat, in the group chat, that he was super happy with Lonan. I was as well. Apart from some of his passes out of the back really put a couple of our players under pressure. But I'll come to you, Jacob. Lonan today. Do you think he's still numero uno?
Definitely, man. Like I feel like him coming out of the that high, like Neuer, just coming out and clearing balls, that wasn't a side of him that I'd really seen. But today we played such a high line that he was supposed to do that, and he made
basically had a Robin van Persie-esque header. Remember?
Yeah, I wish it went into the opponent's half, but yeah, it went into the sideline. But yeah, I was really impressed with him. As for his passing, yeah, he does get nervous when there's a lot of players around him, so he just tends to clear the ball instead of try to passing to other players. So, but overall, really good game, and I'm really happy that he didn't concede, and he could have easily conceded with those shots again into his
Antonio
crossbar.
Sanchez
Yeah.
crossbar, could have easily gone in, came off the crossbar and could have easily bounced in. Even the shot that I don't know what Germany was doing, probably trying to save his nuts, but crept between his legs and kind of caught Lunin off guard. I think the post, thankfully. But yeah, man, I'm really thanking the stars that like even on a day that sometimes unexpected things can happen. It went Lunin's way, and we can keep Kepa out of the equation for as long as possible.
And speaking
But
about
I
the
just read
crossbar,
that
like fucking Brahim, do you remember that shot? Can't believe that it didn't
100%.
go in.
It was the madness. I've no idea how we could miss from 2 yards out, but that's how football works. Like you're completely expecting, everyone is expecting for the net to bulge, but he kind of scuffs the contact and it kind of rebounds off the post, man. But Brahim, again, you see how much of an impact he is. The moment he comes on, there's a chance. Remember the brilliant run he made down the right, and he cuts it back to Hoselu, who lays it off to Fede. In my opinion, Fede should take the shot on. I have no idea why he, lays the responsibility off to Rodrigo. But Brahim was unlucky. Nothing more to say. He tried his best. Again, I just saw that Savio scored the go-ahead goal for Girona, 2-1 up again. Man, these guys are not mucking around. Girona, I think, are here to stay. Come 2024, I didn't expect them to be here, but they're looking like they're gonna take this to the wire, man. I'm here for it, honestly, and it's gonna really. The league is gonna go up in estimation, not just for us, but for the people outside Spain as well. It's good for everyone. Everybody's a winner in this situation. But yeah, man, some of the subs, Farouk, any notable mentions? Lucas Vasquez had a good clearance towards the end of the game, but yeah, man.
Yeah,
Subs.
honestly, I think there wasn't too much notable mention, but I would just try to highlight the fact that Tony Cruz was substituted and Luka Modric was asked to sit deeper, and as you guys pointed out earlier, like the way he interpreted the role, and the way he was physical towards the end of the game. Let's say for someone who is about to clock 39, I think that was phenomenal, and I think it goes to show you have to give credit to in this situation to Carlo Ancelotti, the ability to understand that okay, like we need to do this and we need to take this player, because normally I think I was expecting a Luka Modric sub. Although, like in my mind, I really wanted Toni Kroos to go off rather than Luka Modric, because I feel like Luka Modric has been much more effective. So I feel like the understanding of that from the coaching staff as well has to be appreciated as well. Like other subs like Dani Ceballos, I don't think he had a lot of impact in the game. I don't think there was
I have no idea who gives this man the reins for the free kick. He just stands to take the free kick like he's fucking Robert Perez. But
actually, I was also thinking about that. But then, who are the players who have always taking the free kick? If Modric and Kroos, I know that it's usually Rodrigo or David Alaba or stuff like that.
Alaba,
they're also all not on the pitch. It was just Jude Bellingham and other people on the pitch. So like I don't know, other than Brahim, who's gonna take the free kick?
I feel like,
because if Jude takes the free kick,
have you guys seen Lucas Vasquez actually take free kicks in training? He does a really good job.
He's pretty good.
Yeah,
it's pretty good. But Dani Ceballos has the glamour, the glitz and the glamour that he brings to the table with his rip-off hair gel. That's what he does. But Dani Ceballos is an absolute joke that he's playing for us in 2024. But it's a discussion for another day. But I guess we have pretty much covered basically most of what I would like to touch upon. Dani Carvajal, pretty average. Wasn't the gluten-free Carvajal we expected. Was caught out a couple of times, but I guess first game back from injury, right? Like it can we can give him some leeway. But let's get to a few of the comments, Jacob, quickly. Let's fast track through a few of them. Ashik was mentioning at the very top. He was basically addressing to Farouk that as Maximus once said in Gladiator, the movie, "Are you not entertained, Farouk?"
I need more of that.
Ashik.
If this is entertainment, I don't want to be entertained in my life, bro.
Ashik just knows, what buttons to push and when to push it. Imagine we brought that up. It was the beginning of the conversation. We would have embarked into a different corridor where you and me had to basically go toe to toe like every fucking post match, man. But big up Ashik.
I think he's a real G. He's a real G, man.
100%. He also clarified that he was traveling through Madrid, but he wasn't in Madrid. I think during the preview. But El Merengue boy, big up El Merengue boy, a constant over here. He was saying, Ala Madrid homies, winning these types of games against brick walls like Alaves and Mallorca are what will make us champions. Like it or not, last year Barcelona literally won the league title with 1-0. 100%. That's something that I'll completely back. That even the most staunchest of Carlo outers, like Farouk would agree to the point that we need to have some days like this to really get the title on board, right, Farouk? Yeah. No.
I mean, let's not get into that today. We all want to, let's leave that for another time.
Fair. There you go, guys. He's basically a rock when it comes to his stances, certain political stances. I'll just leave it at that. But big up Milan. He was saying January is always tough for us, to be honest. And before you ask, this is lol. Oh, big up lol, man. So he has a new year, new account, yeah. Like I dread to ask what happened to the older account. What?
Can you read the name again? It sounds like Merengue boy or something like that. What was it?
No, it was Milan.
Milan. Okay.
Milan.
Oh,
yeah, really. What happened was
tell us why exactly why the name Milan. It sounds
interesting. Milan with an O. I don't get it. Or melon with an I. I don't get it, but. He might have been going for a couple of different innuendos over there, but Ashik B was mentioning that was a stellar performance by Woodgate. Sorry, I meant Arda Güler. Yeah, he basically warmed up and was asked to go back and rest. Hopefully, maybe the Copa del Rey game against fourth tier guys who would be out to butcher people. I hope Carlo doesn't give a minutes there, man. Like we would all like right? that to happen. Yeah, it's an away game as well.
Oh, man, the stadium will be bad. Like I don't think any first team player should play at all. Even Arda Güler should just take rest.
With Carlo, we need Rodrigo Bellingham starting. Simple as simple as even Danny Carvajal might start. Yeah, that's the case. But I hope most probably Lucas Vazquez will start, but the attack he'll have to add some firepower because our firepower isn't like. Back in the day, we could throw on a Morata or a Callejon to, see out games like this. Marcus Benningham, big up Marcus, man. He was mentioning Vinny should have come from the bench in order for him to get back his rhythm. You could argue that, but I guess this 60 minutes is basically a superficial 60 minutes. That is more aimed at getting him back to maybe, let's say, not rhythm, but giving him the most confidence you can give him, because Mallorca at home is a very safe bet. I think that's what Carlos' thinking was for tonight. If it was a much more, meatier opposition, say a Sociedad or a Betis, I don't think he would really start. Merengue Boy was also mentioning, I swear, watching this game was like watching the first season of Prison Break. The prison was named Mallorca. Was it? I haven't seen Prison Break, but I can't really understand the reference. But if some of the boys on the panel can, have you guys seen Prison Break?
Like the show is called Prison Break. You expect that finally they break out of prison each season.
Okay. Also, these guys got back into prison again, and then they break out again.
Of course, man. It's America, and the show has to go on.
That's how it is, man. The show has to go on. Money has to sell.
Really, yeah. I always thought it was basically, the guys get out and then they're basically plotting to get their cousins out. No, that's not the case, yeah. Okay.
You didn't watch it. You didn't watch Prison Break. What were you watching?
I was watching Breaking Bad instead, but yeah, my bad.
Yeah, with his Spartacus, man. Just read it, man. It's fine.
Is it good? Yeah, like I should probably watch it sometime.
Yeah, you should definitely watch Prison Break, man. It was a good one.
mm, Milan was also mentioning Arda Güler was bought to be a mascot for the Turkish market. I have no idea what's that about. I hope that's not the case. El Merengue boy was mentioning, honestly, I'm not worried about Arda Güler. Wrap the kid with cotton and let him make his debut next season with Endrick. I'm worried about Brahim. Now that Vinny's back, I know Don Carlo will forget him. I read that as well because that's basically something that's going to happen very very soon, and Brahim will lose his brilliant form, which you can't blame him for. Really.
Actually, Sinan, I kind of
Mm.
refuse to believe that because I feel like whether you like it or not, like one person has to go off between Jude, Vini, and Rodrigo. And right now, we know that once either of these three has to go off, the first person that comes in is Brahim.
Not
So I
Mm.
kind of feel like for this reason, like,
Could be also.
no, I don't think it's Ozil. I think right now, okay, maybe like depending on what the game looks like, but I think
Yeah.
right now, off the bat of my head, like into the pecking order, Brahim is high there. You understand?
But don't you think, Farouk, that starting games is a different proposition rather than coming on with 30 minutes to go? That's
Definitely
gonna.
starting games,
Mm.
starting games give you a different proposition. But let's not forget, like Morata scored 20 goals by starting one game in a month or something like this. He was coming on after the 68th minute. When he scored 20 goals for the Real Madrid B of the 2016-2017 season.
Mm.
So that's the thing. I kind of feel like the important thing is for you to have gelled with your teammates and be able to build on that. Whether it's 20 minutes, as you said today, exactly. He came on for the last 30 minutes, and you could see the impact he had.
Mm. Yeah,
So I think
100%.
this is in my opinion, I definitely do believe that Brahim's impact is going to continue unless even injury happens, which I hope it doesn't happen. But I do think like he has established that understanding, that connection with the players. That I feel like it's something that's going to keep gelling, and obviously I think he's going to get much more chances. Honestly, I do believe that he's going to get a lot of chances.
I hope so, man. Honestly, I hope so because we need a guy like Brahim from the bench, and like you said, rightly said, he has been a difference. Really been a difference for the last couple of months. Ashik was mentioning there's a classic going on in the Spanish basketball today as well. Ala Madrid. I don't watch basketball, but best of luck the Baloncesto boys. I hope they nick the win. Ancelotti will retire after his Real Madrid spell. He confirmed. Well, Farouk will be really happy to hear that. Sid was mentioning these are the results that shape a title. 100% have to back that sentiment. Was also mentioning Lunin is the man. But I don't know why Carlos said Kepa will play the next one. I don't get it either, man.
It's a
It's
Copa
just
del Rey, bro. It's a Copa del Rey, so it's normal.
that's a valid point. That's a valid point. I mean, now it makes sense. Yeah, it completely makes sense because switching goalkeepers is never a good sign, and I hope that's just the end of it. That is the great big up yourself, man. Long time. I see you on Saeed TV. I see you on Rants and Bands. I see you on Expressions and all of that shit. You haven't been around here for the last, I don't know, 3 months. Where have you been, bro? I hope you're good. He mentions big up everyone. We shithoused the win, top of the league now, just enjoying Girona cooking Atletico de Madrid. 100%, 100%. If that result really didn't pan out the way we wanted it to, I really wouldn't be keen to, catch on what Girona is doing. But yeah, thankfully, Rudiger, the one man we didn't really give our praises to. I guess it's about time. We kind of go out on this note. Jacob, Rudiger, any superlatives that we are lacking for this man? I was very adamant. Again, this is another one of my, Trelawney quotes. If you know who Trelawney is from the Harry Potter universe, but basically someone who prophesizes. I did prophesize that Rudiger, even though he has his erratic moments, he's gonna emerge as a leader in our backline. And yeah, coupled with a few injuries going his way and him being given the vote of confidence from the entire coaching staff and the fans and the players, he clearly has stepped onto another plateau this season, Jacob.
Definitely, and especially towards this game, I feel like
Mm.
Rudiger was basically a one man defense, taking up all the responsibility and hoping for the best. That hope that some of his other teammates picks up the rest of the players. So he was pretty preoccupied, and he did the job in the end at both sides of the pitch. He scored the winning goal and basically kept a clean sheet as well, single-handedly, I would say.
I wanna really big up Lauren's confidence to really have the cheek to think that, oh, I could just uh, run it around Rudiger and beat him for pace. Rudiger was like, yo, man, you don't know who you're dealing with, right? Like, you gotta probably maybe watch more highlights of what I am actually about, right? Like, it was just a matter of like 3-4 seconds. Lauren basically had that thought process, travel all the way from his brain, to his legs. By that time, Rudiger is onto him. It's just brilliant to watch, man. Farouk again. Um, he is just gone on to a different level, and really is proving like the best, the most valuable player for us, right? I think similar to the level how Tebow was for large parts this year.
Yeah, man, 14-0, bro. Like, it's 3-3.
What?
Morata scored a quick fire double, apparently.
Double?
45, 45.
Man.
3-3.
What are we doing on the spot, guys? Come on.
I know this is going to be our story, right? Jacob told me he wanted to catch the second half, so we kind of fast tracked it, and the second half would be a 0-0. Imagine that. It'll be a 3-3 game to to kind of finish it off. It would be crazy, but man, it's crazy. It's 3-3. But quickly, Farouk.
Yeah, I mean, it's phenomenal, honestly. Like, how Rudiger has stepped up, and we've seen a lot of good performances from from at Chelsea. But as we always mentioned before, it's always been in a back three. Like, so that's why we always had these reservations. But finally this season, as you mentioned, it's just a combination of injury, good fortune, and whatever. But he's taking the position in stride, man. Honestly, like, and you kind of you get to the point where, like, okay, maybe because it's Kyle Lyon and basically he's a nobody, but like when the Canadian was running at Rudiger, like I didn't even feel a bit of doubt in my mind. I was like, what's this guy doing? Kind of like that's the the level of confidence that Rudiger gives right now to us, the fans, honestly, and respect, man, honestly. And I also saw in the group chat, like, I think I don't know if it was Cedo who was making the point about who was the best player after Jude. Like, it was between Carvalho. I think so it was saying between Carvalho and himself, Rudiger. But I think it's a very good shout to call Rudiger right now as the leader of our defense. Honestly, like, this is something that I never expected to say, because I just felt like Rudiger wasn't a mode for. He was a good player, but I didn't feel like he was a mode of a leader. But honestly, like, right now, like the steps that he has taken, like the strides he has taken, like, he's no longer just the good defender that he was at the beginning of the season. But right now, you can see as well, like, he's a good leader in this team as well. So props to him, honestly.
There's a certain level of composure, certain level of temperament to his game that he has added this season, that I think the writing was on the wall towards the end of last year, where he put up that performance against Haaland, and people would argue was wrongfully dropped away. But yeah, you could just see that he has slowly got into that hunger back in himself to really prove people wrong. And I hope he can really lead us to something special this season. And I truly believe that missing Rudiger for games, either through suspension or God forbid the worst, will be season defining. And I hope that it doesn't come to that. And you guys were saying Girona 3, Atleti 1, yeah? I was thinking it was a 3-3. Wasn't it 3-3, yeah? Okay.
It's a 3-3.
It's a 3-3. What
Yeah,
the?
he just said it's a Morata double, quick fire double. Can't believe
Okay.
Morata scored
45 minutes, man. 3 goals in 45 minutes from Alvaro Morata, man.
Unbelievable.
He scored a hat-trick?
He scored a hat-trick, bro.
This guy, man, this guy.
For sure.
I've to really watch the highlights as well. Itching to really tune in. But yeah, big up every single one of you in the chat, man. Probably not the most glamorous.
No goal, man. Oh shit, sorry. No goal. VAR cancelled the goal. The third goal has been cancelled, so it's still 3-2.
It's 3-2 for Girona?
Yeah.
Okay. So it's gonna be a classic.
We can catch the second half and see what happens.
La Liga is truly, once the boring Chavi ball is out of the way, La Liga is gaining unseen legs. I think this year. But big up every single one of you in the channel. Big up every one of you for joining us. And yeah, man, this wasn't the most glamorous game on the cards for this week or next week or this entire year, but we had to get the job done, and we did. The players really, looked a bit rusty, in second gear and whatnot. But I hope they build on this and really warm up to what lies ahead in February. February the 13th, we travel to Leipzig. Yeah, man. Hopefully, another Champions League deep run awaits. I was just talking to Steve the other day. I was asking him another semi-final, and he was like, "Why not?" And even though I dread facing City, I just know that UEFA is gonna draw us the worst possible opponents, and it's gonna be City, man. Again, if we have to, really go and win the title, we have to, go through them, and I really hope we can, get this. It's kind of 1-1 as of recent times. Let's put the 2016 semi-final out of the way, but that was just a dead semi-final. We can all agree with that. But in recent times, it's 1-1. So another semi happens. It's basically up for grabs, and I hope we can get the job done, boys. Any final thoughts, Jacob, Farouk?
Yeah, I just
Nah,
want to give a shout out to Side TV. Did you actually see Steve's story? Because Side got
Yeah.
What was that Dixon? What?
Dixon cider. Have you tried Dixon cider? Cider is basically, it's just dead after watching United. So he's basically, caught off guard by that. But it's an age-old joke. Dixon cider has been going around for. It's a meme. Like, have you seen the meme where people basically vouch for Dixon cider, the best wine or the best cider out there? I've never tasted a cider so good. You haven't seen it, yeah? Okay. I think it's from the early 2010s, I guess.
Okay.
But
yeah, it was really funny to
yeah.
watch. Go see it. Go watch that if you guys haven't seen it already.
Everybody has seen it. People like nobody. We didn't tell anyone to go tune to United content. People are just feasting on it. They just sell itself. Like they don't need any sort of a promotion. United stuff. But yeah, man, Jacob. Final thoughts?
Final thoughts, yeah, man. Like, I know we won't have a preview for the Copa del Rey game, but yeah, we'll be there for the post match. So yeah, see you guys again on Saturday. Hopefully, it's a injury-free, nice game.
Easy game, hopefully. Farouk?
Yeah, man. The first match of the season, couldn't have asked for more. A victory. It's fine. We take it, even if it's something that we just want to throw in the garbage and move on. But that's a discussion for another day. We'll move on, and we're starting to get our players back. That's another positive as well. Hopefully, towards the end of the month, towards the beginning of next month, we have everyone back, and we can try to evaluate what our team looks like or what our team doesn't look like. And as Jacob said, easy fixture at the weekend. Hopefully, we come out unscathed from that as well. So fingers crossed.
100%. I'm gonna thank the heavens that I can lean back and grab some popcorn and watch the rest of Girona Atleti and not be worried about where we're gonna be come the end of the game. So it's a good position to be in. I'm gonna be thankful for once, and big up every single one of you in the chat. Big up every single one of you who sends us feedback via DMs on our socials. All of that. Big up all of you guys, man. So hopefully, we come back to this on Saturday, Copa del Rey, fourth tier, Argentina away. I hope our players are blessed up and not giving it too much of a harsh run in, because we need them fit and firing. Yeah, boys. Until next time. Hala Madrid.
Hala Madrid.